What's up, guys? In this episode, we're gonna see if I can turn this Cadillac CTS Coupe behind me. It is a 3.6, not the VTS, I don't know, the big boy. You can call it. It is not the big boy, it is the baby. It is the little boy. We're gonna see if we can turn this guy, this non-runner, into a runner and get some profit out of it. See how much profit I get out of it. It's gonna be worth it or not. Stick around for the video and let's go. Unfortunately, the clips of this engine rebuild and all that timing job, when I took off the timing cover, when I took off the oil pan, I cannot find those clips, guys. Unfortunately, I was trying to make a really good video. I did upload it. Unfortunately, I cannot find it anywhere in my computer, guys. I was so excited to put all this video together right now. I could not find them, guys. Unfortunately, you're not gonna see what I did under the hood to this car, so let me explain. Stay along, I'll explain to you in detail everything. It won't take me about a minute 30 seconds to do it, so let me explain, guys. Bad boy back up there. Okay, guys, looking at the engine right here, looks complicated, but to a trained eye, very simple, guys. Disconnect this hose, this hose, this hose, put them to the side. These are just breathers. This thing has 6 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One in the back. Just real quick, take them off, put this baby to the side over there. These valve covers don't take you more than 5 minutes each, and if it takes you longer, these, all you do is unclip them real quick. 10mm. I did change the spark plugs. That cost me around $30. Once I took off the valve covers on both sides, took them out, put them to the side, I examined the camshaft lobe, examined everything, see if everything was in place. Any lifters, rocker arms were disabled or anything like that. Everything seemed really good. Further upon inspection, the chain was really loose. Valve cover off, this chain is really loose. Indicator, you have a bad tensioner. The only special tools you will need for this job is crankshaft, pulley, puller. They sell it in AutoZone. The tools you will need are two special tools you can rent in AutoZone for about $100 total. The crankshaft pulley removal, very simple, pulls out really quick, and the power steering puller and installer. You pull it and then you can install it with the same kit. Anyways, once you pull that, take off the water pump pulley, take off these 13mm bolts all around. Do not try and pry the valve cover. It has a pilot hole right above 11 o'clock of the water pump pulley. Anyway, you put the bolt you took off from here, big one, you took off from this guy once, and you install it in there. That is called the pilot hole. The whole cover comes off when you crank it. It's a pusher, it pushes it out. Don't try and go and pry it on the sides. Inspect the tensioners, and upon inspection, they were shot. Two were shot, and the chain was not stretched, but the tensioners, they were. You could move them up and down easily. You'd press on them and they would just not even hold tension or anything. That led me to believe this guy needs a timing chain. So I put the timing chain on, went to phase 2, then to phase 1, put the timing cover back in. I was done with the timing job. Easy, very easy. It did not even take me more than 4 hours. I did to this engine. I know it sounds a little, well, intense, but it was pretty easy. With a couple of beers, I enjoy doing this stuff. Let me explain the other thing I did to this motor really quick. I did order a new throttle position sensor, $65 on Amazon. Turns out I did not need it. Returned that bad boy, so I am $60 less in the hole. The other thing I did is remove the oil pan, guys. You do not need to pull out the motor, jack the motor up, or buy that kit you hoist on your edges from Harbor Freight. That's like $80. The reason I took it off is because this guy had rod knock. This guy had these two pistons with rod knock. I did the test on the video. I lost the clips, took it off. Sure enough, it was just a spun bearing I took it off, ordered the parts, replaced it, followed proper torque inspection, installation procedures on their website. And another thing that I found on this car, let me show you over here. Unfortunately, I did find this in the oil pan on the bottom. You do not want to find this in your oil pan. If you do, you're gonna start freaking out like me. I was like, fuck, what did I do? I paid way too much money. This guy said it only needed a starter. No, that's not the case. Don't panic. There is a recall on these engines, not a recall, TSB. Basically says you might find this in your oil pan, and if you do, take it to the shop and they'll check your crankshaft for play. And if it does not have that much play, they will just replace this guy. And yes, they tell you replace it from under the car. Just take the oil pan off and install a new one. That's all they tell you to do. I believe if the crankshaft has too much play in it, it's not usable. You're gonna have to take your engine out and do further inspection on it. Replace this bad boy, slid this baby back in there, put the proper torque, the proper lube in there, and voila. Alright boys, if you go to this side, the shock, I took it off. As you can see, back there is your thermostat. I changed the thermostat on this guy. All you have to do is change it out. AutoZone has a part for about $20. Change it just in case it might be faulty, so your engine won't overheat. What else did I do? I did change some fuses on these, on bank 1, on even bank and odd bank, just to make sure they were good fuses. Just make sure you check that, just a precaution. I did change the oil on this guy. I had ordered the head gasket, the valves, exhaust intake valves, the cam phasers, guys. I have phasers right here. So that's about $300 that I would have spent. But let me tell you why I am gonna return them. What I was supposed to do, the first steps I should have done were which I did, compression test and a leak down test, guys. I did do the compression test before and after this engine was out of time, and let me tell you guys, all the cylinders match up. Perfect compression. I was really surprised on that, and that is why I decided to go out to Harbor Freight and buy this Mad Docs or whatever this is called, leak down tester. I leak down tested these 3 cylinders right here. To my surprise, all these cylinders are really good, guys. No severe leak detected, and I was really surprised on that. So that only gives me some of the options to what could be possibly wrong with this engine, which is these guys right here, and they are sitting over there on my desk. Now, do I replace these or not? That is the question right now. That is where I'm at, because if I do, I'm gonna have to take off everything, and I just don't have time for that right now. Alright guys, if you've been keeping up with the updates on this episode, a little update on the Cadillac CTS-Coupe. I've been doing a little touch-up paint here and there on it. Let me show you what I mean. All these little edges, they were super faded. Put some trim paint on it. I was thinking of doing a clear coat on this area. As you can see, it fades and then goes into really good clear coat paint. But I'm wholesaling this car. Someone else is gonna have to do this. I'm just gonna roll it out, give it a little clean, and send it off on its way. I gave it a little touch-up paint on the grill. Down here, I was gonna go buy a mesh grill, but they'll see it and be like, a couple $100, whatever. Put this bad boy in the driveway, give it a clean. Buff, maybe a little buff. Not too hard because it's black. I'm not too good on detailing anyways. All right guys, let's get in here. See if we can crank this baby up. Man, I love this interior. The door stitched. All these buttons work. I ordered this one, ordered the door one. They work good. I liked all this interior. It has the nav in here. Watch. Oh yeah. Click the nav. Gives you the Cadillac nav. I don't know if it's any good. It does have AC. It throws very cold AC. That's one thing I liked about the car. A little squeaky. It'll work. There. That's way better. That's way better. Let's go check it out. You can hear it running. It's running. I'll just let y'all hear that idle. It's idling. car doesn't shake. Alright boys, I hit it with this spray can and acrylic enamel, black, glossy black on the rims. Forgot to cover that with scotch tape, but shit. Check it out boys, just a little touch up paint, nothing too fancy. Looks 5 times better. Check this one out, this one's next. As you can see, it's all scratched up, beat up, paint's all messed up. Hit it with the 1-2 can, gloss black. Let's go.